The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate podcast. I'm your host, Ken Albin, and today's guest is setting the tone for the modern realtor. Just as happy to get involved with charity as we'd be playing a round of golf. Here to share his story and some of his tips for networking groups, all the way from Kirkland, Washington, Garrett Brown. Garrett, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Appreciate that intro, Ken. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great. And
I could have kept going and going and going. You had plenty I could have thrown in there, but I wanted to keep something to talk about. And I mean,
I appreciate
it goes without saying, if you're established, if you're an icon of real estate, and I definitely think you are, there's a journey, there's a story that needs to be told, and you're the best person to tell us. So take us on that story.
Well, happy to, Ken. And I mean, I'll start, like you mentioned in your intro, it's we need to mix, in real estate, we need to mix how we share our profession, but also our personality and our family too, and our interest. And so it's a fun business to be in, where over the course of a long course of time, you can shape, here are the things I'm passionate about. Where does my work and my life and my interest intersect? And then how can I make those work to have the silos of people that we enjoy being around, and then getting to meet people that we know, like, and trust. So that's a lot of how I pour my energy into real estate. I mean, I've done it all from, mailing out postcards and cold calling and paying heavy for Zillow leads. But I've really found in the last few years, my best, both referral sources, best clients, and the most fun in working with people is from friends of friends, or people that know, like, and trust me, that refer me to someone else, or we have a common passion or a common charity that we work with. And that builds that trust and makes me want to work hard to see their real estate goals come to fruition.
Absolutely. I mean, if the more vested interest you have in the process, the better, I believe, the better the potential outcome, because you have to feel like you have a stake in it. You can't just be in both real estate, in both real estate, business, and personal. It can't just be, there's no lose for me. It's only a lose for you.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to us a bit more about networking groups, because that's one of the things that you've mentioned, and I know you mentioned as well. You like to use it to lower the bar in meeting with people. So how do you go about that, and how have you sort of fitted it into your daily routine?
Into my daily routine, yeah. And with networking groups, and there's a mix. I mean, I do a couple that I've started on my own with a few friends. We call those. One's called BLT, Bothel's Last Tuesday. But then I also have a first Tuesday of the month happy hour in Kirkland. And that's been going for a while. And we have 10 to 15 people coming every month. And really, you say, how does that work into our daily schedule? As realtors, or anyone in business, there's so much of the, hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, let's get coffee, let's get lunch, one-off kind of stuff, which is awesome. And I always love meeting face-to-face with people. But I could never hit my numbers or my goals, that my real estate coach was coaching me to do. And I was just saying, hey, I'm busy, but I'm not seeing the fruit from it. And so, starting networking groups or being involved in different things are really ways to knock out 4, 5, 6 meetings all at once, because you're getting people in a room, and you're hopefully providing value by saying, oh, I've got to connect you with this person. They would really enjoy your service. So part of how that works is the networking groups that I've set up, and this is selfishly, I pick times and days that I know, hey, Tuesday is a bit of a slower day. I'm going to make all my happy hours on Tuesdays. And I live in Kirkland, Washington, which is an east side suburb of Seattle. And so the happy hours that I do are 5, 10, 15 minutes away from my house and my office.
Nice.
So
nice. Close enough that the wife can pop out to grab you if things get out of hand.
That's right. Exactly right. And this, and they're timed up, so I can still hopefully make it home for bath time and story time and bedtime with my 1.5-year-old daughter too. But so anyway, an example of how it goes is with our happy hour. It's me, a financial advisor, a mortgage person, an insurance person. All are kind of the host, and we're all inviting people every month. But it's just worked into part of our normal email and follow up campaigns. And you mentioned the lowering the bar to get someone in person. In the real life example of people that I'm trying to get to list their house, let's say, or I've talked to them. I've shown them a few houses, but they're not ready to buy yet. They're 6 or 12 months out. Hey, come to this monthly happy hour, and then we can get in a routine. We can, be face to face and see some people. So
it takes a bit of the pressure off, isn't it, as well? Because there's a bit more of a group setting. So the pressure, the spotlight's not just on one person at a time.
Exactly right. Spotlight's not on one person at a time. Low pressure, and this is the real hope, is that they'll find someone that they can connect with and can help encourage them or a good connection for their business or their life. So that's really, really why we do it. And the setup of it is we don't want to just be handing out business cards. There's paid networking groups that I'm a part of, and that's what those are for. And that's all well and good, but we really want ours to be a chance for people to connect and create community.
Absolutely.
And around the areas I live. So I'll go straight from a Rotary group meeting in Bellevue, and the people that know the Seattle area knows it goes, Bellevue is the main east side suburb, and then just north of that is Kirkland. So I'll leave my Bellevue Rotary meeting as the service chair, talking about service project that will be coming up, and I'll drive straight from there 10 minutes to the Kirkland happy hour, and then still drive another 10 minutes from that home, and hopefully get home at you've
got this down to a T. And I know it's a bit off topic, but what's the drink you normally have at these happy hours? What do you drink?
And that's a funny thing too, Ken, is with all these happy hours and everything, or I've got a wine walk coming up too. I haven't drank for coming up on about a year now, and this is a side conversation, but it comes from I was a passenger in a car accident where I was driving with people that were looking to buy a house, and it was about an hour and a half away from my home out in Gig Harbor, and so I said, okay, you guys can drive. And we turned and got T-boned into. So I can send you the photos later to put up here on the podcast. But anyway, so got in a car accident, over a year and a half ago or so, and the doctor's advice with the concussion and everything was, she told me, take some time off of work, take some sick days, get more sleep. And this is when I had a 3-month-old at home, and don't multitask and limit phone calls. And I said, okay, well, I can't take time off work. Right. I'm a realtor.
You've basically just described all the things we do.
Exactly right. So then so really the thing that was in my control that I was willing to give up was the alcohol. So before all that, I would say in old fashioned would be my drink of choice, or Manhattan, but I haven't drank for about the past year, and that's been helpful to have a clear head and better sleep and with the concussion recovery.
Absolutely.
What's your drink of choice, Ken?
And you said I'm glad you asked. I'm a single malt Scotch guy. Yeah. So old fashioned I can get behind. Okay. And I mean, you said you haven't for about a year, and your daughter's a year and a half. You might want to rethink your stance on drinking. As far as I'm heard, well, by the time she reaches her terrible twos.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Good point.
Let's talk a bit about where you are now. So I know you're with Windermere. Have you always been with them, or have you moved over time?
No, I've switched brokerages, and so I started in real estate 2012 in Portland, Oregon, at a Keller Williams office there. Switched to another local company in Portland. Was there for about 5 years, and then moved up to Seattle in 2017, and went to another local firm up here that does both property management and on the brokerage side, because I like being able to be that full umbrella for clients to show, I'm not going to do the property management, but I have good referral. Yep. But I have good referrals for helping them out if they want to keep their place as a rental and whatnot. So I've always enjoyed that. And that was great when I lived in Seattle. Now I've moved over to Kirkland. And so now I'm at the Windermere Kirkland office, and they're a Western United States regional company that's been around since 1971, and a big name here in Seattle and on the Western states. So that's why I really wanted to align myself with them, not just because of they're close to my house and good people, but also it's a nice brand to be able to refer within the Windermere family or outside of that
Totally get
too.
it.
Because a lot of my clients, having been in Portland for 5 years and then Seattle the last 6, are West Coast or Western region movers.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
you got let's just cast an eye into the future. I'm sure at some stage you're gonna be wanting to grow a team or onboard more people. What's the number one advice you'd give? Day one, your training day advice, you're Denzel Washington for a new broker. Go.
For a new broker, say yes to everything. If you're a brand new broker, make sure that you are trying everything out and say yes.
So when you say yes, you say every listing, every buyer, every opportunity to get in front of people, I imagine.
I would, yes, because it's business that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And even if they can be a pain, even if you can feel, hey, this is outside my realm, you're going to learn so much through action than you are just from saying, oh, that doesn't fit my ideal client.
Absolutely.
I'm going to wait to find the next one. Because then when you do have your ideal client, you won't have enough at bats, you won't have enough practice to have to know how to treat them right. And for me, I mean, I learned that from trial and error. That was my, when I started at 22, 23 years old, it helped that I was, young and single and could do it. So I never, I was fortunate to not have to have a part-time job with it and to live, lightly those few years when I wasn't making much money. But it's really, was really beneficial then now in the long run to say, oh, I was doing open houses for other agents. I was, again, doing those online leads, taking sign calls, helping out other agents in the office. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I call it paying. It's a different way of paying your school fees, because it's
paying your school fees.
If you don't have anything else to do, you need to find a way. I would even advocate find someone to shadow. If you don't have anything else to do, be doing what you need to do in one way, shape, or form. But I dig that. What would you, would you say you have a niche within your real estate brand?
Yeah. Niche within the brand would be, and then I'm trying to pare it down a little bit. So I'll show you, I've always been reactive to being, I would say Tacoma to Everett to North Bend, so really the Puget Sound region. It's about an hour in all directions from where I live. And I'm still good with that, still comfortable with those areas, but really trying to then focus on, and that's all reactive business. The proactive business is doing stuff like this. I'm holding up for the people online to see, but I'm sponsoring the wine walk with the Kirkland Chamber coming up this week, and I did it last quarter as well. But it gets me in front of 550 people in my town where I'm living at a high price point.
Who are happy because they're drinking wine. Or
they're happy because it's a Friday night. They're drinking wine downtown, and they see my name, and they have my wine bag and enter the raffle and all those kind of stuff. So even though it's a much longer way out, the ideal client is someone that's in the town I'm living in and just wants to, maybe they're a few years out, but they just want a game plan. So being involved in the Chamber of Commerce or sponsoring these kind of events, whether it's a golf tournament or a wine walk, those are the things that I really enjoy because it gets me in front of new people. And again, that then gets them into the cycle of saying, oh, your industry is this. I want to be more interested in what they're doing and say, hey, come to my happy hour because I've got someone that you should meet and connect them. So it's really a chance to get in front of people. And so the ideal client would be someone in Kirkland, Bellevue, Redmond, Woodinville, Bothell, those areas that is a good referral source or willing to be a connector of people as well.
And I like that you mentioned referrals, because that's really, it's like it's the cherry on top of the cherry on top when it comes to any sort of business. And I actually think that the person who gets the best the outcome from that is the person who's been referred, because you as the person who's being referred to, you feel like a sense of duty to make sure you at least do the same, if not a bit better. And if you do the same, you probably are better and they get the best. But what are you doing throughout your transaction period, from that initial contact right through to when you decide that you're going to do business or that business can't be done now, to ensure that people come back to you?
To ensure people come back. No, that's great. And like you said, yeah, you definitely want to honor the source there. So right away, whether it's buyer or sellers, I say, hey, either one, we need to have a consult first, because I need to ask you questions to help guide me to get you what you want.
Exactly.
So we have a sit down first, whether it's on Zoom or in person, but we always have a sit down first. I have a list of questions, again, through the coaching program I'm a part of. It's a wish list, and all about you form, and it's different things on how our process works. That way that they know what to be expecting. Say, hey, you'll get me the whole way through, but I've also got a transaction coordinator that she's going to dot the I's and cross the T's. That's been in it for 20 years and does it well. I've also got an assistant that helps keep me in line. All those kind of things. So you get me the whole way through. I'm answering the calls. I'm negotiating for you on your behalf, but I also have a team that helps me make you better as well.
Behind every great realtor is a team of hardworking people, keeping all the strings and everything together.
Absolutely. And that's really to best serve the client. Like we're talking about, it's like, okay, why did I switch offices and pay a higher cap or a higher fee? It's well, I'm providing a better service. I have better advertising. I have better marketing. I have better things to offer. Different programs as far as on the seller. If they need money to get their home prepped and they want to get paid out at closing, that can happen. And if there's different things like that we can offer that will help the client out. And so those are why I say, hey, even if you're a year or two out, it would be good to connect and game plan and start that process.
I dig it. And talking about a year or two out, what can we expect from GB Realty or Garrett Brown's team?
In the next few years,
it
would be, hopefully it's obviously, we have a lower deal flow here now than we've had in years past. So it's really diving deeper into the agent to agent, referral relationships for, like I was saying, people moving out of area or out of state. That's a big area of focus. And really doubling down on these networking groups and different charity events and volunteer opportunities, because the more people see our stuff or see what we are like, then they'll know, like, and trust us and be willing to work with us.
Absolutely. Well, Garrett, I think it goes without saying, you got a good head on you got a good head for this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds. And when you break through those next barriers and you become like a big celebrity in Kirkland, I'm hoping you'll grace me with your presence back on the podcast and give me an update.
Absolutely, we'll do, Ken, and then I'll send you that bottle of that single malt scotch and one of these wine bags too.
You're the man. I love it. So Garrett, before we go though, if someone wants to reach out to you because they want to find out more information about the events, the happy hour, or just maybe to connect or even work with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Best way to reach me would be, either on our website to learn more about us and to see our stuff. It's the sellwithgb.com, or on Instagram to see a lot of the videos I'll put out, flip tips, home helper tips, or really what's going on. And that's the Instagram is gblivingthelife.com.
Awesome. I'll make sure we link it through when this goes live. But it goes out saying, Garrett, I've loved having you on the show. And man, I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So for myself, Ken Elvin, and Icons of Real Estate podcast, and Garrett Brown over in Kirkland, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.